Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
I'm Jacob Wile.
And Monkey, and evidently some mute silence thing as well.
Well, evidently, sure. And welcome to the Season 2 premiere of our DuckTales recaps. Yeah.
Yay. Woohoo.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
Season 2 of DuckTales, so we'll finally get to see how Pumbaa gets out of the quantum realm.
God. Oh, if only. If only.
Yeah, I mean, Timon and his mother and Uncle Max, they just disintegrated.
Did you just reference Uncle Max? Oh my God. Wow, that's a deep cut right there.
Didn't expect it to be that deep.
No, I didn't. All right. So we're talking about DuckTales, folks. We're talking about the most dangerous game, Night. Unfortunately, there's not a Jesse Plemons character to go along with the game night of it all. I was hoping that, I don't know, maybe like Longbold or someone. I don't know.
Oh my God, that would have been funny.
Just like someone who desperately wants in on the game night, but they don't want to let him in. I could see Longbold filling that role quite well.
Or Manny. I don't know.
Let me in on your game night, Scrooge. Or else.
Like, Glumgold, what are you doing in my house?
If I can't beat you in the money market, I'll beat you at game night!
Okay.
What are you doing in my house?
Back talking about this show. This show, you know, of course it had, I think the only thing you can kind of hold against the show is kind of the rocky airing schedule in the beginning. But my God, I think season 2, we're off to a really, really good start here. I feel like this episode almost kind of deconstructs DuckTales, which is kind of an appropriate place to start moving forward.
You could say so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, hell, just story structure in general.
Yeah. Of course, just kind of broad strokes, and then we'll go through the episode kind of, not beat by beat, but, you know, kind of go through it in detail. Broad strokes, my God, this might be my favorite Donald episode of the whole series so far.
Wouldn't deny that. Donald was great in this episode.
I mean, it's a sign of goodwill, right? It's like, okay, look, we know Donald was kind of pushed to the sidelines. He's going to be front and center in this one.
I didn't get the impression he was that front and center. I mean, he's certainly around more than a lot of season 1 episodes, but, you know. Okay,
well, to be fair, I'm just making a point of, like, yeah, in most of the season 1 episodes, he just wasn't around, period. So it was nice to see him actively involved from beginning to end.
Fair enough.
If we lose, you're out of the will. I was in the will?
I was in the will? I can't do Donald. I could do hipster Donald, but I can't do regular Donald.
I was in the will? Wow, that was the last place I was expecting to find this character!
Oh, God. All right. Oh, man. So let's talk about that opening, because the opening I thought was pretty damn good at setting up all the, you know, as every season opener should be with shows like this. It's like we get the status quo of where each character is in this current time.
I mean, this image here you have shown, that's a lovely image to start season 2 on.
It is. And of course, it's I assume it's an homage to Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
Probably.
Could be.
Because of like the Indiana Jones of it all. Like this whole set piece feels very much like that.
Yeah, and there's definitely some Indiana Jones stuff in this opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cursive considering that Raiders of the Lost Ark's opening was basically directly inspired by Scrooge.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I did not know that.
From the comic, yeah.
Yeah, both Steven Spielberg and George
Lucas. You had to look, didn't you? Screw left, up to the left. Lousy tourists.
Right.
Both of them pretty much basically openly admitted that, like, the opening scene, especially with the boulder, was directly lifted from a Scrooge comic.
Oh my God.
Of course, we get the setup. I love the Dewey and Webby being besties at this point in the series. That was a good kind of development through season 1 of those two bonding with each other, and it's good to see it kind of, come to fruition here. That was fun.
You guys notice how like the sort of step turn dodge thing, that's the DuckTales theme?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this program.
Of course, let's break down the whole Louis essentially calling out, like, what is it that he calls out? The whole like,
it's a whoa. Wait, what?
Whoa.
Ah!
Louis almost dies.
Oh yeah. So do you think this season is, do you think he's going to be the sort of primary triplet this season?
Yeah, I was actually about to ask that question, because kind of in like the first episode of season, obviously the pilot episode, Dewey was established as like the...
Yeah, Dewey was like the... I mean, hell, just the first season, it's like Dewey was the most prominent.
Yeah, and this is actually setting up Louis to be the prominent one for this season, at least.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, and then like Huey being prominent in season 3, so...
Possibly. Or Huey's just kind of like our neutral good character. I don't really think we need as much development on Huey as we need on the other two. If anything, I feel like Huey is kind of like... I feel like Huey's almost like, characterization-wise, he's how the original characters acted for the most part. You know what I mean?
Except damped up to an anxious degree.
Sure. After this episode, not only do I want a Dewey plush, but I want a Webby plush as well. I can't have just one after this episode.
Besties.
Oh, man.
It's kind of also... It also makes me believe that Louis might be the focus, is that he was pretty much the one that got the least amount of characterization last season.
Yeah, his whole character last season was basically like, he's good with money.
And is as he says in this episode, lovably lazy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so totally... the evil triplet, as they say.
Well, yeah, definitely a solid opening for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just really nice to, it was a great mix of character, action, and environment. Just a really, really good kind of getting us back into the groove of things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we go home.
Yeah, we also, a couple of slight updates in the opening theme song sequence.
Yeah.
How so? I didn't really notice that.
The lasers is now represented by
Gizmo
Duck. And now Magica's in the villain slideshow at the end.
Nice.
Yeah, which works out because the way it was before, it's like, oh, we've got 2 of the Beagles in there. Okay. Now it's a bit more even.
And now it also says Gizmo Duck.
Yeah. But yeah, we're home. And they're hanging up that portrait, the ship portrait.
Yeah, with Duckworth's ghost. Be afraid. Yeah,
he's still around.
This is exactly how I want to see Duckworth's ghost used in the future.
Spooky things.
Yeah. Spooky things.
Well, Tiki's living up to her hype. He's being spooky.
Right.
Okay, please, DuckTales attraction at Disneyland with a Pepper's Ghost effect for Duckworth.
Oh my God, yes. I would love that.
The Ghost Butler.
You know what? Just
I said I would no flash photography.
Switch it up between the coasts. Like, it could basically be our version of Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
Using the same kind of ride technology.
Perhaps.
If only. If only.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know how long I've wanted a Lost attraction at Disney?
I'd like a DuckTales ride.
I seem to recall a Lost version of Tom Sawyer Island.
A DuckTales ride would actually be really cool.
All right. Anyways, off of the Imagineering here. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual episode, to tell you the truth, the bulk of it, like the actual game night stuff, don't really have a ton to say about it. I mean, it's all really good. It's almost kind of like maybe a little bit of a lesser version of the McDuck McMansion mystery.
In a way.
Just in the sense that you've got all the characters kind of in one location, with crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm seeing that.
I'm not slamming it as like a bad choice or anything. I'm just saying like it's not like, I don't know. It felt a little conventional, but in a good way, conventional in terms of like, this is nice. This is a nice, easy plot that I can get behind. There's no real serialization going on here. It's easy to understand. It's not exactly the most, it's not exactly the most complex plot in the world, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you just need to have a good fun episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Especially after the last two episodes of season 1, you kind of need a bit of a breather.
Yeah, after like I am.
Yes.
After an entire shadow war.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of. Well, it was definitely chaotic. It's kind of interesting to see like Scrooge's competitive side of the game.
Oh yeah.
It's like you see what he does to take down his enemies during board game night. We're the enemies.
All right. Now, one thing is, throughout season 1, the commentators were kind of like, "Hey, give Gyro more of a chance. He's like more accurate to his comic book counterpart than the original show was." And I just thought Gyro was kind of like a stick up his ass jerk in the first season, to be frank. I gotta say, in this episode, definitely the best Gyro episode so far. Definitely the most tolerable we've had Gyro so far.
I had a feeling you'd think that.
Yeah. I was on board with Gyro this episode.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It's actually one of the few that actually like his only one outside of his first appearance that doesn't have Fenton in it.
I think Gyro, generally speaking, works better when he's not interacting with Fenton, just because Fenton's just a giant trigger for him to be an asshole.
That's a good thesis.
That's pretty much what I was leading into that.
Yeah.
Like,
but I like how this plot line still takes advantage of the fact that Gyro has a giant ego.
Yeah. Now I'm picturing your obedient servant, but with Gyro and Fenton.
And how the ego actually ends up biting him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
oh yeah,
and at least it comes with like genuine enthusiasm for science instead of just like like how could I screw people over?
Exactly. And I like how that whole plot, the whole like Lilliputian plot, is kind of in the background of the episode. It's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we've seen how this plays out in other animated shows. You don't need to see kind of the minutia of it.
No pun intended.
Instead, we're going to see how it affects everything else.
Exactly. I thought that was clever. I thought it was really well done how you don't actually see the mini people until like very, very late in the episode.
Oh yeah, and how the plots came colliding. Pretty much literally colliding into one another.
Right.
Of course, Donald and Scrooge being game night partners is classic.
I love that their team name is Team Uncle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's great. It's like, oh, that's why you picked Donald. Yeah, 30 so years of listening to Donald, you have to be very good at nonverbal communication. And then basically it's like they work well together, but there looks like there's still some tension between them.
Yeah.
Hopefully, seems to be mostly gone from after the season finale, though.
All right. Let's see. Trying to. Like I said, it's not like a very heavy plot episode or anything. It's just like a nice, fun, like breezy episode to start things out with. Kind of like it's almost kind of like a status quo setter, if you will. So it's like there's not really a ton of minutia to break down. You know what, guys? Kind of riff a little bit. I'm gonna jump into the stream and see if we have any comments.
Okay. I seem to be stuck in a world of nightmare horrors.
You guys got any guacamole?
Or maybe some hummus?
Launchpad has crashed so many times, I think he may be immortal.
I do think that the episode did have some genuinely good high stakes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, of course, watching it, like, we know Launchpad's not dead, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it was kind of dramatic.
It's so nice talking.
Kind of dramatic that.
It's so nice talking. It's so much more personal than texting. Oh God.
Oh no, I've lost my partner. I guess I can't play anymore.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Bigly.
Okay, some shout outs in the comments here. Pink Pearl Apple says, do you guys have Twitter? I have the next episode promo that everyone is freaking out over. Monkey does not do trailers, and neither do I when it comes to this show. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. But nice to see you, Pink Pearl Apple. Happy that you're joining us.
I'm waving.
Let's see. And then DuckTales News says, glad Donald was in this. I am too, DuckTales News. I am too. I'm a big Donald fan. Donald Duck might be my favorite Disney character in like the grand spectrum of Disney. So I was very happy to see a lot of Donald screen time. All right. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering this name, but Matej Spanik says Duckworth's ghost was in the episode too. And I'm like, yeah, Duckworth's ghost. All right. Okay. Just wanted to shout out everyone in the comments. Thanks for commenting, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Duckworth's ghost is used well in this series.
What?
Yeah.
Duckworth's ghost is used well in this series.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this episode is kind of indicative of how they use Duckworth's ghost in the future, as I was saying, where it's like, I want him to be someone who shows up more than like once every blue moon. But by the same token, we don't need him to be like a major part of the episode unless we get like a Scrooge Duckworth backstory or something like that, you know? So just him being used as like these great like throwaway gags, I think is the perfect use for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm tempted to look into that promo, but Monkey, I know that you wouldn't be happy with that, so I won't. I'll spare you.
Okay.
And also we have someone in the chat who doesn't want the promo spoiled for them either, so there's some Podico on us with that.
Hello, sibling.
Let's see. What about Scroogeopoly?
Bark's Place.
That was good.
Nice reference.
I'll be the top hat.
How is this how is this fair? Your face is on the box.
Yeah, I mean, considering the context in the episode is why I'm not saying I want a real Scroogeopoly game to be sold, but it would be cool to see what all the different places on the board are.
Oh, dude, I would. If they released a Scroogeopoly like with this same box art and everything, I would. I don't know. Because I say that I would pounce on it, but then again, it's like I need that Webby and Dewey plush in my life. Like I need that pair of plushes in my life. So I don't know. It'd be a tough call between those two things.
I don't know. Why not both?
Well, I don't.
You don't have to get them at the same time.
That's the thing. Now I'm actually like really regretting not buying Dewey at Disneyland because I was like, if I already had Dewey, then I just need to buy Webby at Disney World and it'd be perfect. And they'd be like, and it'd also be great because they'd be like from different coasts. Seriously, guys, you have no idea how much I want a Webby and Dewey plush. That's actually kind of killing me.
And as far as Scroogeopoly, I'll gladly settle for DuckTales Monopoly.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Yeah. But if they do DuckTales Monopoly, like I'll be curious to see what the spaces are and everything, but I won't buy it. If they do full on Scroogeopoly, where literally all the pieces are top hats, like all like And you know what? Screw it. Like, have a really complicated version of Monopoly with like taxes and everything like that added into the gameplay, and just call it Scroogeopoly. I'd be so down for that. I'd be so down for that.
How about DuckTales?
As long as the top hat has at least like different color ribbon on it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that gets in the way of me wanting an actual Scroogeopoly.
All right,
or at least different kinds of top hats.
Any Donald guys?
Oh my god! Please tell me there is a Glomgoldopoly.
Oh god! yes! Oh my god!
And Glomgold probably designed it himself.
Yeah, and it's like, and the drawings are all really crude.
And here's the rules. Rule number 1: Glomgold always wins.
It's like maybe instead of jail, it's being fed to sharks.
I love how it's Donald's fate to always Monopoly.
And like Donald goes back, and Donald lands in jail
again.
Yeah. So speaking of Donald, the houseboat survived.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess you really could fix it again.
Nice to see that's back. Just in case they ever wanted to like go to Cape Suzette again.
God damn it, we need to see Cape Suzette. Jacob, help me out here. Cape Suzette is the tailspin town, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
You know me, I'm still gonna push for Gummy Glen.
Of course. Well, Gummy Glen, I'm still convinced that if we ever do the Disney Afternoon Cinematic Universe thing, that Gummy Glen is basically going to be Wakanda. Yeah.
I mean, as far as like Disney Afternoon references go, I mean, the Gummy Bears one is like the most blatant one so far.
It was.
Excepting Duck.
Except Darkwing Duck, yeah.
Obviously, except Darkwing Duck, of course.
I mean, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there just kind of as a general like DuckTales going forward question. When is the gummy berry juice going to come back into play?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, because the end of that of the Agent 22 episode was a shot that, Webby still had it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't bring it up into Shadow War, so when will it come back into play? So otherwise, why focus on it?
It'll be interesting to find out if they actually do bring it back.
I would assume / hope.
And considering, and I just want to see some like gargoyle stuff. I mean, like with its ties to Scottish and Scotland and all that, I would love to see gargoyles.
Right.
Yeah, that would be good. I'm not saying it has to be with the same characters, but some reference to the Mighty Ducks.
Like Scrooge inherits the castle or something. Or like the castle above the clouds, and it's like, this place is filled with gargoyles.
And of course, due to obvious reasons, I can't really give an answer yet as to how Pepper Ann would figure into things. But
God,
ask me again in half a year.
Okay.
All right, guys. I think we've kind of ended the kind of reached our natural endpoint for the conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, some nice development with Louis going here. So. Going into him.
Yeah, indeed. And I feel like that's maybe something that got a little lost in the shuffle with the conversation, so I want to just bring it back up. Indeed, Louis does seem like he's going to be the focal point of the season, and I'm happy with that. I really am. I think that we're going to get more development on Webby and Dewey as a pair, and I think Huey is basically going to stick to the status quo this season. I'm not sure. But
see if Donald has anything. Wherever.
Well, all I want from Donald is screen time. I don't give a flying fuck if he has an arc. I just want screen time from Donald.
When will Della come back into play? Will Lena ever come back into play? But those are kind of maybe more series-wide questions, but nevertheless, it's a new season.
I just really like the ending with Scrooge and Louie.
Yeah.
Especially it's no number one dime, but it's a start.
Yeah, you put this to work, you could become a bigger billionaire than me someday. Like, wow, damn! What? Wow! What a
Like, that's
what a thing.
That's definitely high praise coming from Scrooge.
Yeah. And just throwing it out there, I think Louis may be my personal favorite of the triplets, so nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It kind of shifts around depending on like the dynamic of the series.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you ready for some episode titles?
I got them pulled up if you.
Yeah, I know they've said through what, the 4th episode of the season?
We got up to episode 5 now.
Oh,
right,
5.
Next week's,
So number
next week's
5 is
episode-
alive.
The next episode is called "The Depths of Cousin Feathery."
Yeah. So, yeah, another character from the comics.
Yeah.
Then "The Ballad of Duke Baloney."
And
The Town Where Everyone Was Nice.
then episode 5 is the one that intrigues me the most. Storkules and Duckburg.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. That ought to be fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to come back.
And considering how it is, it's probably gonna be like another somewhat Donald-centric episode, it seems.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for that. Or at the very least, it'll shed some light on Della, because we got, the last time we had Storkules in an episode was a Della-centric episode.
I wonder if we'll also see Zeus and Selene again.
Possibly.
Yeah, I feel Zeus would be more likely than Selene. But yeah, it shall be nice to once again hear the term "Friend Donald."
Oh God.
All right, guys, any final thoughts?
Nah.
Hello,
really.
Timon! Okay, very funny, Timon! I'm ready to come out now! Timon!
All right, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next week for episode 2. Woo-hoo!